That's more like it, innit? We're back, baby. Nah, I'm only joking. What is good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts for your match review of Chelsea 7, Port Vale nil. And look, we got served some absolute dross football before the international break. And if you're an England fan, you got served some dross football in the international break. So to come back and absolutely demolish, wipe the floor with this Port Vale team, 7-0. I mean, we didn't score a goal for 3 games. And to come and score 7 in one, couldn't ask for a better day. We got some good standout performances, but look, there is context behind this game, right? And this is why there's no point taking too much out of this game, right? We're not back. You know, we've had a great result. We've scored a lot of goals, but Port Vale, and fair play to them not to take anything away, that they managed to get this far in the competition and beating Sunderland in the last round 1-0. There was a massive gulf in class today. Massive. I mean, they're bottom of League One, looking like they're going to get relegated this season. But you could just see when we turned it on, when we started increasing the tempo and we started to string a few passes together and actually play with a bit more intensity, we were running rings around them. They couldn't get near the ball, they couldn't get round us, and we were creating chances for fun. And look, you know, you can only beat what's in front of you, right? This was a team that has made it this far in a competition, and we had to go out and do the job, because we could have made this a very embarrassing result if we didn't take it seriously. But we did, and that started with the lineup. I'm not going to go too much into it. Obviously, there's some players that I would have preferred to have seen, but the lineup that was picked done the job. The players that started done the job. I mean, to go 1-0 up in before even the second minute had gone through with Hatto from a corner, you can't ask for much more. You know, we want fast starts, we want early goals, heck, we want loads of goals if we can have them, and we got all of that today. There were definitely moments and periods, some quite big periods, especially in that first half, where we didn't quite go for it. We didn't quite put our foot on them, you know, stick it on their jugular, go cutthroat, especially after the first goal. I thought, oh God, 1 minute in, 1-0 up, this looked like it's going to be a breeze. We're going to absolutely rinse them. And the result would say we still did in the end. But I can imagine it would have been a lot more than 7 had we not had those periods of downtime, so to speak, you know, giving Port Vale a little bit of opportunity to actually play a bit of their football. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. Then we don't want to overexert ourselves in a game like this, where we could potentially lose some players to injury, being that our injury record is not so great. We seem to be picking up more and more as the season's gone on, so we could do with avoiding some of those. We got some good minutes in the legs of players like Lavia, who, again, I don't know about you, but every time he goes down, I'm like fearing the worst. Every time the geezer hits the deck, I'm thinking, that's it, he's gone for 3 months. And it's not a good place to be in. And I think just from his facial expression, especially that one he took in the first half, it looks like he feels that too. Like every time he gets tackled, every time he goes down, it's, I'm injured again. I hope that's not the case. He got some good minutes today. He come on. Players like Esteval, once they got into their stride and actually got into it, and obviously he's been missing for quite a while due to sickness and injury, so it was good to get him back on the pitch. You could just see the levels, man. And obviously, fair play to him. He won man of the match. He deserved it. But he was a cut above everyone on the Chelsea team, everyone on the Port Vale side. He just looked sharp. And again, considering he's not played much football in like the last month and a half, it's crazy to think that he's the sharpest, or looked the sharpest at least, on that pitch today. Defence, a clean sheet, but didn't really have much to do. We're still not comfortable with corners though, or any set piece, I should add, into the box. We still look shaky. And I don't think that's going away this season. I think that's something we're just going to have to ride out to the end of the season and find a way to cope. But every time a ball's coming into the box, it just looks like chaos. It looks like there's no structure, no one really taking control. But again, this is nothing new to us. The same issues are still there. You know, the same problems around the club, they're still there. The result doesn't change that, and nor did I see anything in the result that makes me think we've corrected some of the on-field, because at the moment that's what we can do right now. The on-field structure of the team, it still looks the same. It still looks shaky. But again, it was against a Port Vale team, and this is probably the best game you could have asked for after having 3 or 4 terrible, or maybe it's even 5, isn't it? 5 terrible results. To go on an international break where confidence is low, knowing after the international break you're heading in to a nasty run of fixtures leading up to the end of the season, with still quite a bit left to play for, obviously into the next round of the FA Cup. Champions League is still within reach, not within our reach, because other teams are going to have to fumble and we're going to have to win everything towards the end of the season. But it's still within reach. So there's still a lot to play for. There's still a lot for these players to get riled up for, to, you know, put the effort in for the remainder of the season. So to play Port Vale, to go out and do what we did today, to win 7-0, it's a massive confidence booster for players that definitely need it. Now, a player that could really use something, a spark, a pat on the shoulder, just anything, didn't get it again today. And he's probably the only real criticism that I'm going to say is Liam Delap again. You could look across the team today, and forgetting prior performances, today they looked cut above. Liam Delap didn't look a cut above Port Vale in any sense. The only thing that we got was his complimentary WWE takedown of, I want to say it was Ojo from, you know, Port Vale. Maybe it could be in a different player, but he basically just tackled him to the floor, which seems to be his complimentary stunt whenever he comes on the pitch. But if anybody could have used a little bit of a spark, a goal, that's what the guy needs. If he could have just got a goal today, it could have done him wonders. But still waiting. But that's the only thing I can say criticise-wise. Other than that, again, there's not really much to look into this performance. It was job done. It is move on to the next round. Now it's the business end. Now it's where shit gets real. Because if you ain't up for it now, this end of the season is going to be dark. But that is all from me, guys. Look, I'd love to get your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of this game. How do you think the result works in favour of confidence? Or do you think this is just a little nice cherry on the cake to what is going to be probably a dark end to our season? But let me know. Get in the comments below. For now, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.